Did you know that in just 1 month, without the right nutrients, the cartilage in your joints can lose up to 15% of its flexibility? Sometimes it may never fully recover. I am Dr. Mark James. I am 55 years old. After more than 25 years of helping thousands of older adults, I have learned one thing. Stiff joints are not just a part of aging. They are a sign that your body is crying out for nourishment. Today, we'll share 3 types of nutrients when combined the right way. They have helped hundreds of my patients restore comfort in their joints in just a few weeks. Even those who thought constant pain was their new normal. You will discover which nutrients help soothe inflammation and lubricate your joints. A simple way to get them daily without costly supplements and common habits that often make older adults' joints stiffer without them knowing it. If you believe that a life with less pain is possible, click subscribe and leave a comment saying I am ready to move freely. That way I will know you are on this path with me. And now let us begin with the story of Margaret. She is a 76-year-old woman who used to be too pain to work in her beloved garden, until she learned how to feed her joints again. Let me tell you about Margaret. She's 76 years old. She's someone whose spirit I have always admired. When she first came to my office, she had to use both hands just to open the door. Her knuckles were swollen and red, as if they were fighting a constant battle. I still remember the look of frustration on her face. She looked so defeated, as if she was failing at something simple just because she could no longer button her own shirt. "Doctor, I don't get it," she said, her voice strained. "I try to rest them. I try to do my stretches. But every morning they are stiffer," her daughter added, her face etched with concern. "My mother loved her garden. Since she stopped being able to hold the tools, she has barely gone outside. Little by little, she has given up on so many things. She just thinks maybe this is what arthritis is. I have heard that sentiment more times than I can count. We just have to live with it. But I do not believe that." I told Margaret that joints do not simply lock up because of the years. There is a simpler but more profound reason. It is a lack of anti-inflammatory nutrients. And this gets much worse when we are unaware or do not take it seriously. When I asked her about her diet, she told me she mostly had toast with jam and tea. She rarely ate colorful vegetables, and she almost never had fish. She had even started skipping lunch for many months because it was too much effort. "Margaret," I said, "you are not alone. Nearly 2/3 of seniors are missing at least one of the 3 most important nutrients for joint health, and the longer that continues, the harder it is for the body to repair itself." She looked down at her hands and whispered in a frail voice, "So, what is there to do?" I looked at her and smiled. "We will start with small steps. You don't have to overhaul your life. Just a little nourishment each day." A few weeks later, Margaret returned for her follow-up. This time, she opened the door with one hand and held a small flower from her garden. I still remember how she looked at me. Her eyes were bright with disbelief and joy. I never thought that changing what I put on my plate could give me my hands back. You see, Margaret's story is not an exception. Maybe you or someone you care about is feeling that same stiffness and pain in your joints and thinking there is no solution. But the truth is there is. In the next part, I will help you discover the 3 most vital nutrients that almost every older adult is low on. And you will learn why these nutrients hold the key to bringing comfort and flexibility back to your body. Have you ever gotten out of bed in the morning and felt a deep ache in your knees and hips that makes you dread that first walk to the kitchen? You are not the only one. Research shows that over 70% of people over 65 are deficient in at least one of the 3 key nutrients I am about to discuss with you. When this deficiency persists, it not only makes your joints ache more, but also leads to a loss of independence that many people fear. Take a moment and ask yourself these questions. If you answer yes to more than one of these, it is highly likely that your joints are sending a distress signal. Sign number 1. Morning stiffness that lasts over 30 minutes. Do you feel like a tin man when you wake up, needing to slowly warm up your body? Do your hands, knees, or back feel locked and immobile? Have you ever had to sit on the edge of the bed waiting for the stiffness to pass? Some of my patients say, "Doctor, the first hour of my day is the hardest. It feels like my body has turned to stone overnight." This is not just aging. When your body lacks omega-3 south and antioxidants, inflammation builds up while you sleep, causing this severe morning pain. Even if you get a full night's rest, your joints wake up suffering. Sign number 2. Cracking or grinding in your joints. Do you hear a pop or crunch when you bend your knees? Do you feel a grinding sensation in your shoulder when you reach for something, especially when climbing stairs or standing up? Do you ever feel that grating feeling in your hips? This is a classic sign of cartilage wear, which is made worse by a lack of collagen-supporting nutrients. When your body does not have enough vitamin C and amino acids, the natural cushion between your bones, the cartilage, begins to break down. This makes movement painful and noisy. Sign number 3. Swollen, warm joints. Have you ever looked at your knuckles or knees and noticed they look puffy and are warm to the touch? Does the swelling get worse after simple activities like walking or cooking? If this happens regularly, you need to listen. A lack of omega-3 fatty acids is a primary cause. Omega-3 south act as your body's natural anti-inflammatory. Without them, your joints are in a constant state of alert. They remain swollen and sore. Sign number 4. Loss of grip and difficulty with simple tasks. Do you find it harder to open a jar? Did you once enjoy knitting or writing, but now your fingers ache and refuse to cooperate? This happens when joint inflammation becomes chronic. The pain and stiffness make even the smallest movements a chore. A deficiency in key antioxidants can speed up this process across your whole body. It also affects your range of motion and confidence. Please consider carefully how many of these signs apply to you. If more than one feels familiar to you or someone you care about, see it as a gentle signal from your body. You do not have to feel defeated or resigned to pain. The most vital thing is to start making changes now. In the next part, I will explain why these 3 nutrients are so critical that they can help soothe joint pain in just a few weeks, and why so many older adults are deficient even when they believe they are eating a healthy diet. There is something I need you to truly grasp. The human body does not simply become painful because of the passage of time. Many feelings we think are just arthritis, like morning stiffness, swelling, or grinding sounds, are actually signals of distress from your joints that are starved of protection. Imagine your joints as the hinges on a gate. They allow you to move freely, to bend, and to live your life. In protecting these hinges, there are 3 crucial nutrients. I call them the soothing trio of nutrients. The first is omega-3 fatty acids. I often describe omega-3 south to my patients as the lubricating oil for a rusty hinge. When we are young, our body's inflammation response is balanced. Your joints move smoothly and without pain. But as we get older, our diet changes and inflammation can run wild. If you do not get enough omega-3 south, your joints become inflamed and stiff. The pain signals fire constantly. That is why you start to dread standing up. Many patients have shared, "Doctor, I just want to walk to the mailbox, but my knees scream with every step." That is when you know your body has been low on omega-3 south for a very long time. Next come antioxidants. I always call these the shield that protects your joints from the rust of time. When we were children, our bodies produced many antioxidants naturally, but as we age, our internal production slows down, and our diet often lacks colorful fruits and vegetables. A lack of antioxidants allows damaging molecules, called free radicals, to attack your joint tissues, accelerating the aging process. Many of my patients thought their pain was just inevitable, but after boosting their antioxidant intake, they started to feel less achiness and more overall comfort. Lastly, there are collagen-supporting nutrients. This is a quiet group, but they are incredibly important. I think of things like vitamin C and amino acids as the team that repairs the cushion between your bones. When your body lacks these nutrients, it cannot effectively rebuild cartilage. You might start to hear that grinding sound in your knees or feel bone-on-bone pain in your hips. A long-term lack of these nutrients can lead to permanent joint damage and make you feel unsteady on your feet. Many people ask me, "Doctor, why am I still lacking these nutrients when I try to eat well?" And the answer is this: after age 60, your body's ability to fight inflammation decreases. Your digestion is not as efficient, and many common medications for blood pressure or pain can interfere with nutrient absorption, quietly depleting your body's defenses every single day. The most damaging scenario is when you are low in all three: omega-3 south, antioxidants, and collagen supporters. That is when inflammation rages, your cartilage weakens, and your mobility declines. You enter a vicious cycle. The less you move, the stiffer your joints become, and your risk of losing your independence goes up. But here is the wonderful news: your body has a remarkable capacity to calm and repair itself. If you start giving it enough of this soothing trio, inflammation will decrease, your joints will have the building blocks to heal, and you will discover you still move with much more freedom than you imagine. In the next part, I will show you the easiest way to get all three of these nutrients from your regular meals without needing complicated recipes or expensive supplements, so you can start feeling better today. Right now, you might be feeling, "This all sounds so complex. I wouldn't know where to begin. Let me help you simplify it." The reality is you only need to focus on 3 small additions that anyone can manage. You don't have to change your entire life. First of all, the most important thing is to get enough omega-3 south. These fats are like a fire extinguisher for the inflammation in your joints. They help calm the pain and swelling. For older adults, our bodies do not produce these fats, so we must get them from food. That is why even if you eat 3 meals a day, you can still be deficient. Each week, try to add to small servings of fatty fish, for example, a piece of salmon or a can of sardines. If you do not like fish, a tablespoon of ground flaxseed in your oatmeal or a small handful of walnuts is also a great source. Just stay consistent. Within a few weeks, your joints will start to feel less angry. Next are antioxidants, the shield that protects your joints from daily damage. When you lack antioxidants, your joints age faster, your pain becomes more persistent, and it's harder to move. Many seniors do not eat enough colorful plant foods where these nutrients are most abundant. Every day, try to add 1 serving of dark berries or leafy greens. A handful of blueberries on your yogurt is perfect. You do not need a huge amount, just a splash of color each day is enough. And for your meals, try to include spinach or kale at least 3 to 4 times a week. If you drink tea, switching to green tea is a simple and very effective option. Finally, collagen supporters, the quiet team that rebuilds your joint cushions. These nutrients help your body produce the material that prevents bones from rubbing together. A lack of these is why many people hear that awful grinding sound when they move. You don't have to buy expensive powders. Try eating 1 orange or a few slices of bell pepper every day for vitamin C, and drinking a warm cup of bone broth, which is rich in amino acids, can be very soothing. Making your own is simple and inexpensive. One important thing many people overlook is gentle cooking. If you can eat some of your colorful vegetables raw or lightly steamed, you'll preserve more of their antioxidant power. Overcooking vegetables can destroy many of their protective benefits. And remember, stay hydrated. Water is essential for keeping your joint fluid healthy, which acts as a shock absorber. I have seen many patients who, simply by making these small dietary shifts, ease their joint pain more than they ever thought possible. They did not need risky procedures. They only needed consistent nourishment and a little bit of time. If today your joints feel stiffer than they did yesterday, please do not give up hope. Your body still has the capacity to feel better, as long as you start giving it the right tools. In the next part, I want to share some hopeful stories from people who followed these simple principles. They not only move more comfortably, but also rediscovered a life with less pain. You might be thinking right now, do the things this doctor is suggesting truly make a difference? Or is it just wishful thinking? I understand your skepticism. In over 55 years of my practice, I have met thousands of older adults, each one with their own story of pain and a quiet resignation. But I have also seen so many small wonders happen just from a few simple changes in diet. Let me tell you about George. He's 79 years old. He worked his whole life as a carpenter. When he came to my office, he could barely make a fist. Every morning, his hands were so stiff he couldn't hold his coffee cup properly, letting the warmth slip through his fingers. He told me, "I thought my days of woodworking were over for good. I didn't want to just sit around and do nothing." I still remember the doubt in his eyes when I explained that his body was not broken beyond repair. It was just that, after so many years of inflammation and nutrient gaps, his joints had become overwhelmed. But when we finally gave them the right kind of support, a few walnuts, a cup of green tea, a serving of salmon, something remarkable started to happen. At first, George wasn't convinced, but he agreed to try because he felt he had very little to lose. We created a simple plan. Every morning, he had a cup of green tea instead of his usual black tea. For his afternoon snack, he had a small handful of walnuts. At dinner, twice a week he had a piece of baked salmon. It was that simple. In the first week, not much changed, but by the third week, he told me, "My hands don't feel like claws in the morning anymore," and slowly, he started picking up his old carving tools again. 2 months later, he walked into my office, holding a small, beautifully carved wooden bird in his steady hand. He smiled. The lines on his face were still there, but his eyes were full of accomplishment. That was not a miracle. It was simply that his body finally got the anti-inflammatory support it craved. You are not any different. Whether you are 70, 80, or 90 years old, your joints have not quit on you. They are just waiting for you to send them a message that says, "I am still going to support you." Believe me, when you begin to make a change, even one tiny adjustment, your body will notice, and then you will realize that a comfortable life is not something you've lost forever. It was only clouded for a time by years of inflammation. If Margaret, George, and hundreds of my other patients could do it, then you can too. In the next part, I will help you review the 5 golden principles to keep your joints supple. And I will show you how to start this very day, without putting it off. Before we finish our conversation, I want you to take a moment to tell yourself, "I can live with less pain. My body is capable of healing." And to make it simpler for you to remember, I will summarize the 5 golden principles, the simple but effective steps that have helped so many of my patients find relief and flexibility. Principle 1. Never start your day with just plain toast and coffee. A breakfast with antioxidants, like oatmeal with blueberries or a cup of green tea, is the best way to fight the inflammation that builds up overnight. When you skip a nourishing breakfast, your joints start the day already at a disadvantage. Principle 2. Eat fatty fish or walnuts at least twice a week. Do not think that fats are always bad for you. The omega-3 fats in salmon, mackerel, and walnuts are powerful anti-inflammatories, helping to lubricate your joints from the inside out and reduce painful swelling. Principle 3. Eat at least 1 serving of colorful vegetables every day. Bell peppers, spinach, broccoli, or carrots are packed with antioxidants and vitamin C. You do not need a huge plateful. Just a small, consistent serving is enough to provide your joints with protection. Principle 4. Hydrate with water, not just coffee or tea. Your joint cartilage is mostly water. When you're dehydrated, that cushion thins out, leading to more friction and pain. Drinking plain water helps keep everything moving smoothly. Principle 5. Do not wait until the pain is unbearable to take action. Just like Margaret and George, you do not need to wait until you can't open a jar to do something. Your body will respond much better if you start nourishing it today. You might be thinking, "I'm getting older. Will these small changes really work?" Trust me, It is the simple habits, repeated every day, that build the greatest resilience. You do not need expensive injections or harsh medications. You only need to start with the simplest step. If you feel this is too much to remember, I want you to hold on to just these two simple phrases. I am not defined by my pain. Every day I will do one small thing to soothe my body. Say this to yourself every morning when you feel that stiffness and every night when you feel the ache. You will feel a quiet resolve build inside you. And slowly, but surely, your joints will begin to thank you. My dear friend, you have stayed with me for this entire conversation, and I thank you for your time. Maybe right now you are sitting in your living room, feeling the familiar ache in your knee or your hands. Maybe you still feel a little bit skeptical, and that is perfectly understandable. But I trust that as you have listened until this very end, you have found within you a small ember of hope. A little ember that says, my body has not failed, I can feel better. Remember, the comfort of your joints and the freedom of your spirit is not dictated by your age. It is dictated by your choices and the gentle care you are willing to give yourself each day. Today I want to give you a simple invitation. Try just one small thing tomorrow. When you wake up, drink a glass of water, gently stretch your fingers and toes, and say to yourself, I am doing this because I deserve to move through my day with more ease and comfort. If you found this discussion valuable, please click the subscribe button so that each week I can continue to share simple, effective wisdom and hopeful stories with you. Leave a comment below to tell me which joint gives you the most trouble and what you plan to try first. I will do my very best to read and respond to each one because I truly believe no one should face their health challenges by themselves. And if you know a friend, a family member, or a neighbor who is living with constant pain, please consider sharing this video with them. Sometimes one small piece of encouragement can open a new chapter of life. Thank you for listening so attentively. I'm Mark James, and I believe that no matter your age, it is never too late to take a step towards a more comfortable life. I wish you a peaceful day and more freedom in your movements.